Is heterosexuality under attack?
Probably in about 4 or 5 generations, no one will be straight anymore.
Is the LGBTQIA plus mafia trying to overthrow society?
It's supremacy of gays and lesbians and transvestites.
Everything's transgender.
Where's my straight flag?
Is gender ideology turning our children French? Well, yes, but don't worry, straight people. We won't forget about you. I'm Joe Sutherland, and to stop straight culture being lost to history forever, I am opening the first ever museum of heterosexuality, aka the Het. In this podcast, I invite queers to propose 2 relics of straight culture to preserve in my collection so that future generations can learn about the greatest achievements of heterosexual civilization.
And we are the experts.
And we are the experts. Well, we're allies, is what I like to say.
Okay.
In this episode, I'll be receiving proposals from an international drag artiste, DJ, and political commentator. You know them from RuPaul's Drag Race UK, Call Me Mother, and the Camp Classics podcast, as well as the news. And maybe you even recognize them from Erin Brockoviching Lawrence Fox into paying £180,000 in damages. It's Crystal!
I can't believe you're the first person to turn Erin Brockovich into a verb, and I can't believe I've missed that for about a year and a half.
I'm never the first.
Thank you for giving me that. Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming. Welcome to the Het.
Thank you.
Are you a museum person?
Sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah. A bit of culture. Absolutely. You know, I like to populate every city break with one trip to a museum and then one bender. And you just get one. Yeah, then you really see the culture that a city has to offer.
That is, I think, the full spectrum of a metropolis.
Yeah.
Very little in between, in fact. Okay, well, what I do like to do at the top of every episode is verify that my guests are not only knowledgeable, but also respectful of straight culture. So I do have 2 key questions that I like to ask. The first being, what, Crystal, is the straightest thing that you have ever done?
So many. I mean, I do really try to find allyship in everyday moments. But when you asked me to have a think about this, I thought it's probably getting married. Unfortunately, that is really buying into the cis-het narrative, isn't it? I think I bought in. I did the proposing. It was in a romantic setting. We had a proper wedding. There were vows. So I think that's given me a real insight into straight culture.
I love that you probably made many people in your life very happy and proud that you indulged in this, and yet you recall the story with disgust in your voice.
It's not disgusting. I'm very happy to be married, and if my husband is listening, I'm very happy to be married to him. But it does really feel like I participated in an ageless tradition that really is there to. Well, it was founded on the sale of women, wasn't it?
There was a real handmade element, yes. Did you cherry pick any particular historic elements of the ceremony?
Well...
Did you get walked down the aisle?
No, we walked each other down the aisle to Belinda Carlisle. So that's where it got quite gay, I guess. Yeah, we came out on the key change of Heaven is a Place on Earth. So that was fun. And we had confetti cannons. It was it was about as gay as you can make a wedding, I guess. And no one wore white. There was no purity symbols. And we've continued to stay gay ever since getting married as well. So it hasn't changed us.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But maybe the straightest part of our wedding was our wedding planner, who was a lovely lady from the outer regions of London, rose gold watch, a lot of clipboards. She'd done weddings.
Headset?
Yes,
Okay.
that vibe.
I'm in love with her already.
She was fab. But that was a heterosexual experience. I felt like Jennifer Lopez.
In many movies. And then, if I may pry, when did you realize that you yourself were not straight, but in fact an ally to those people?
I mean, the true answer, but it isn't very fun, is I always knew. There was always something different. I think the fun answer... Have you ever seen the movie Time Cop?
No.
Okay, so it's a 90s movie starring Claude van Damme, early 90s. And there is this scene at the beginning of the movie. Some assassins have come to his apartment to kill him. And he wakes up and he's just in some very small boxer shorts. And they're not stiff fabric. They're a soft material and loose.
A satin?
No, not a satin, like a cotton.
Okay.
But loose cotton.
Mm-hmm.
So you're seeing a lot. He wakes up. They are trying to kill him, and a giant jug of water gets knocked over in the middle of the fight. And the assassin then tries to taser him. And to get out of the way of the taser and the water and blah, 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 he jumps up into the air and does the splits on the kitchen counter.
What?
And then the assassin ends up electrocuting himself with the water, et cetera, et cetera. But basically, you've just got this framed image of Jean-Claude Van Damme in a very small pair of boxers doing the splits. And it's still really hot to this day.
Do we think in 90s movies, when an actor was being asked to perform a scene like this, so scantily clad, were they thinking about preservation of dignity? Like, would he have had a kind of posing pouch underneath?
I would assume so, because otherwise I think a ball would definitely have slipped free. And that's a man who's done the splits in his time. Like, that was not his first rodeo. He's famous for doing the splits. He does them in every movie he's in. So I'm sure he figured out like a tucking situation.
I had no idea he was such a drag queen.
Yeah. He invented the shablam.
And we appropriated it. How awful.
Yeah. But anyway, I really recommend it. It's a very hot scene. And if you're not gay, you will be after you watch it.
Well, maybe I need to renew my own gay vows. Okay, well, I think you've definitely proved that you are a true ally to the endangered heterosexual peoples. Thank you so much for that. I do think it's important that as archivists, we treat their customs and traditions with respect. So with that in mind, I would like to ask, what is your first nomination of straight culture to submit to the Het?
Okay, so it's straight men on stag do's dressing up as women.
Interesting.
Which is, it's a very specific kind of, I'm not going to call it drag. I'll call it cross-dressing. I think it needs to be included because it is basically, you know how TERFs like to say that drag is woman face? Mm-hmm. That is woman face. That is a mocking portrayal of women. And it's very telling about straight culture that the kind of most embarrassing thing that these men can think of to do is to dress up as a woman. Mm-hmm. And it's about humiliating the groom as much as possible. There's no celebration of femininity. They're not taking the chance to be like, what's it like? And
I'm going to feel my oats for one last night.
There's none of that. I think some of them do end up feeling their oats and perhaps have a little moment, but that isn't the purpose. And let me be clear. I support gender exploration and gender play. I think it's great. I just hate it when it's done in a mocking way. And when you see those men, like at 3 p.m. on a Friday afternoon in London, they're already completely shit-faced. One of them's in a bad Smithy's wig and a bad Smithy's go-go dress. Mm-hmm. It just makes me feel very sad for straight people. So I don't know if I've missed the point of this podcast, but I'm preserving basically one of the worst aspects, I think, of straight culture.
No, this is useful. This is a good reflection. I want to, so for the sake of any international museum visitors, a stag do is, of course, a bachelor party.
Yes.
And I have never experienced bachelor parties outside of the UK, so I don't know how much this ritualistic humiliation of the groom is a common thing. It seems to be it's a very strong part of stag do culture in the UK. You see it a lot. Scrolling through Google yesterday to have a look at some examples, there was a group of guys who all shaved off their pubes and collectively glued them to the groom's face. And he had to stay with like a hairy Yeti pube face for the whole weekend.
That is so gross and unsanitary.
It's so horrid.
Like that man's on public transport.
Yeah, they posted a photo with him on the tube. But you know what? He looked happy. And there was a part of my heart that melted and thought, this is actually an important step for him in his life. He's always imagined this in the way that we're told that many a young girl is kind of encouraged to dream about her wedding day. Maybe he's often thought like one day
I'll be hazed.
Yeah, one day I'll be hazed by my mates. I'll be stripped naked and cellophaned to a lamppost.
It's all very homoerotic, isn't it?
It is. And that's so traditionally, of course, the stag do is seen as one last night of freedom before getting shackled to the ball and chain. So with that, we hear some unsavory stories of sex tourism and whatnot. But there is something, as you say, homoerotic, and it does make me wonder, like, how many stag do's
turn into a circle jerk?
Yeah.
When I was on my stag do in Amsterdam, I remember being in a bar and seeing a straight stag do, and one of them was dressed as a woman. And I only remember this, my friend reminded me a couple of days ago, but there was a guy dressed in bad cross-dressing, and it didn't look celebratory, and it was just like this drunk man kind of felt like mocking women. I'm like, you're going to marry a woman. Like, what are you doing? So I borrowed as much makeup as I could from everyone in the bar, and I beat his face. I was like, if you're going to do this, you're going to do it properly, and you're going to look nice, and you're going to take this seriously. And we spent the whole time painting his face. Like, the girls I was with were like, and are you going to make your wife come? Is her pleasure going to be important to you? Are you going to respect her? And just making sure that he was getting the talking to that he needed.
And was he grateful?
Yeah, well, I think he was a bit scared, to be honest.
But then once you made him so pretty, how did he feel? Did you see a change?
Yeah, I mean, he looked better. So that's something. You're not going to change a person in one makeup session.
No, but you can plant a seed, I think.
Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully we planted a seed. And yeah, like I'd say, I love the idea of straight men exploring their gender, exploring the limits of masculinity, trying to break outside of that. I think it's really, really, really great. It just make sure you're doing it in a celebratory way, you know?
Okay, I'm seeing a business opportunity here because you Google stag do's, bachelor parties, and you get fed so many results for package weekends that come with preloaded activities. You can go down the slightly more wholesome fishing, cooking classes kind of route, or you can go down the sleazy, we're going to dress up as German beer maids and ride a 12-person bicycle bar around town. I think there's a gap in the market then for stag do drag makeovers.
Okay,
where
I like it.
Yeah, so you get a group of guys, you put them all in like fit drag. You make them snatched. And you say, now boys, go forth. And they go out on the town and they just get to like explore that confidence and feel themselves.
I think that's a fab idea. I mean, I don't want to do it, but I think someone should. I think that's a lovely idea. And yeah, I've done one group makeover session for a bunch of gays once early in my drag career, and it was so stressful because suddenly everyone wants to be the prettiest, and you don't have enough time. You've got like 45 minutes per person, which is not enough for anyone to get into drag. People are bored. The person who got ready first is sweating it all off. It's a whole thing. So you'd need a team. It needs an entourage. Artists. Yeah, but I like the idea. I mean, you've got drag queen, everything else is. So why not drag queen stag do operators? I like it. God, you mentioned those 12-person bikes. Every time I see those, I'm seeing them again for the first time, and I'm so horrified and terrified. Do you think that's how people felt when like Viking ships were invading? Seeing one of those, I feel like that's how it must feel. Like
sheer acceptance that the end times are here.
Yeah, exactly. And like a low belly panic that you're like, you just freeze, hope it doesn't notice you, hope it'll go past, get the next town.
The gods are frowning upon us.
Yeah.
Hopefully the other town is more sinful than us.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my goodness. So you had your own stag do. Have you been a guest on a straight stag do?
No. Bachelorette.
Okay.
Hen do.
This is always interesting. When bachelor and bachelorette parties, when they do divide by gender, then the bachelorette, the hen, will so often then invite a gay male friend or two. And that does confuse me because it's like, wait, which way are we going? Because if we're really doing this by the rule book that seems to be by gender, let me go with the boys. Let me make friends
Do you want that?
I don't want to be invited to anything. I don't want to leave the house if I'm not getting paid. But still, like, let me have the Jane Goodall experience.
Sure. I cannot think of anything worse. I mean, how many straight male friends do I have, really? Like, a handful. I would go on their stag do. I would. But it's typically I'm friends with them because I'm friends with their partner first. And so it just makes sense. You go with you're going to celebrate your friend getting married, and I think you're thinking far too binary.
Yeah, I'm trying to embed, I'm trying to understand. What I'm curious about with all of these examples of straight culture is then what makes it so straight? And I think we've mapped some of that out. But then the best way to look at that is, what is the queer equivalent? Where is there a moment where queers are co-opting something that is perhaps a bit more universally straight?
Right.
When are we perhaps like mocking the intended purpose of a garment? The thing that comes to my mind is a waterproof trainer or walking shoe in the city.
You've
as a fashion statement.
You've
like a
me.
Salomon trainer, a Merrill shoe.
Or Hoka, I think these are.
I just feel like that's not intended for this purpose. A central London podcast studio. That is intended for, a local hiking group coming together, exploring the National Trust's best preserved paths and trails.
So you're saying that queers wearing hiking shoes in the city is the same as straight men getting into cross-dressing on their stag do.
I don't know that it's one for one the same, but I think
I'm sold. I mean, good luck explaining that to anyone outside of this room, but right now, right here, it makes perfect sense to me. I'm buying in. The reason I'm proposing this to go into the Het is because it's just such a perfect example of the rigidity of heterosexuality in terms of gender exploration, in terms of the limits of masculinity. It just so clearly encapsulates the idea that like men are this. And it's kind of like a crystallization of all of the problems of toxic masculinity, I guess. That there's this idea that you can only be a man this way, and if you dress like a woman, that's embarrassing. That is shameful. But secretly, you'd love to know what it's like, wouldn't you? Sorry, I had to go there. Maybe the equivalent in queer culture is like what you said, is drag queens profiting off of it. You hire a drag queen for your stag do or for your hen do, because I've done that many, 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 many times, and I will again. And that's kind of like the queer experience, isn't it? Like figuring out a way to make a bit of money off someone else's trauma, repression. So
yeah, I go to a drag actuary every time I need to get my tax return referenced.
Oh God, you joke, but I'm sure there is a drag actuary on TikTok. I'm going to help you slay your taxes, mama.
So should this phenomenon be accepted into the Het, how are we displaying it? What is the exhibit? What does it look like?
Oh, maybe we could just like compress a man who's on his stag. Maybe we could just like flatten him out, roller pin him, and just put him behind some perspex. Beer in hand still, bad Smithy's wig splayed.
What I'm picturing, I don't know if you've ever been to one of these terrifying medical history museums where you
like
have a fully
bodies.
Extracted nervous system that was removed from a body of somebody convicted of a crime in the late 1800s. And they've taken this entire nervous system, flattened it out, and like glued it to parchment or something. I'm picturing this, but with the polyester dirndl dress.
Yeah, and Gary from Bolton.
This is horrifying.
We could just dehydrate someone. Or, maybe something less grotesque. Maybe someone will donate their body to science for this.
Maybe.
Maybe we could get someone who's like on the donor registry and their body could be used.
Okay, we're putting a call out to all of our straight friends. If you feel that your contribution to this life could go beyond just that of the here and now, consider it. Put your body forwards for eternal humiliation.
What was that exhibition called? Is it Real Bodies?
Where the mad scientist kind of contorts them and peels them.
Yeah. I feel like people didn't know they were getting their bodies used for that.
No, I think they thought it was going to help
science. Yeah. So, if he can have those bodies, then maybe we can have one.
Then we can pilfer one. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I can see that then. And if this phenomenon is making it into the museum, people come, they see the exhibit, they want to take a piece of it home. What is the gift shop merch?
Gosh, I mean, I don't want to encourage people to do this. So It needs to read as like a cautionary tale rather than like anything aspirational.
I'm seeing one of these children's flip books where the pages are divided into 3 segments and you can change the outfits, the top half, the bottom half, and the face to create different people. I'm seeing something like that, but the face is all one guy. It's all one Gary.
Yeah.
And we provide a spectrum of stag do clothing.
Oh,
to kind
sexy
of show,
nun.
Yeah. So
Nurse,
on the one side,
beer maid.
have your bad cheap dress that doesn't look very good, and then we flip on the other side to be like, or girl.
Right. This is how it could have been for you.
Yeah.
Jessica Rabbit.
Yes. See, because then we get to preserve the history and the lineage of the bad dress, but have a little glint of hope and education.
That book sounds fab.
Okay. Before I decide whether to put straight men wearing dresses, bad dresses, on their stag do's, we must consider your second nomination. Okay. So what is the other artifact of straightness that you have brought for me today?
So I am bringing the song Mr. Brightside.
An anthemic classic by The Killers, of course, debut single, and it came on their first album, Hot Fuss. And it was written by the band members Brandon Flowers and Dave Kuning, and it was actually one of the first songs they ever wrote. Now, again, international visitors to the museum might not quite appreciate this, but in the United Kingdom, this song has become the 3rd biggest selling or streaming song of all time and is the longest charting single on the UK official singles chart top 100, having spent over 408 weeks in the charts. That is 8 years as of 2024.
I'm sorry, what?
This is true. It's a very anthemic song. You can hear people singing along to it in many a venue up and down the country, but it has also become a little bit like Neil Diamond's Sweet Caroline. It's kind of become folded into football culture. And the Killers were on tour in July 2024 in the UK, and they did quite an incredible thing. They paused their concert and allowed the fans to watch the end of the UEFA Euro 2024 semi-final between England and the Netherlands.
I'm sorry, what?
And as the match ended, so they just paused the concert. On the big screens, they play the end of the match. As the match ended, they shot out red and white streamers fired from cannons, and then the band immediately went into Mr. Brightside.
Oh my God. If I was there, I think I would just hurl myself off the bleachers. You've just described my vision of hell.
Let's go see the Killers throw ourselves off the bleachers. So what is your relationship with this song, with Mr. Brightside?
I have to say that as a slightly emo kid in the early 2000s, I liked this song. I liked this first album. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, all of this came really in the last decade.
Yeah.
This new lease of life.
I think it was fine to like the Killers when they came out. They were popular, but they felt a little bit edgy, a little bit underground. It was like reasonably cool to enjoy the Killers. And I did. It's only since becoming a drag artist and a DJ and someone who DJs a lot of weddings and sometimes at clubs with straight people that I've realized the power of this song. I still don't really hate this song. I just find that it's become something completely different, and it's what you've just described. I think objectively, it's still a good song, and that's the reason why it's so popular. It's a catchy song. It's just when you hear it, what kind of place you're at. You're in a straight space, and you're currently immersed in straight culture, and that's fine. Straight people need things. I'm glad they have this song. It just tells you that you need to keep an eye on things because that's where you are.
It is a fantastic song. We cannot argue with this. It only has one verse. They just repeat it.
Second verse, same as the first.
Yes. Which is perhaps quite genius. And there is something interesting about it. I think it's part of a lineage of flamboyant, slightly feminine frontmen.
Sure.
Creating this like anthemic rock that then gets adopted by broader culture, mainstream culture, straight culture. I'm thinking, of course, David Bowie, but also like the New York Dolls. Harry Styles, R.I.P. Morrissey. There are many other examples of this. Again, is there maybe a sort of an arena in which your blokey bloke can lives slightly vicariously through a Brandon Flowers with his gorgeous smoky eye and his feathered shoulders. And he allows a crowd to kind of project and feel a bit fun and free and camp.
Yeah, I think that's very sweet. That's a nice way to put it. And again, it's like I fully support people exploring that, having those outlets. It's great. It's just, I don't know about you, but I never feel more unsafe than like when there's a football match has ended and the streets are full. Like that is me at my least safe that I feel.
There's a frisson in the air, a sort of static buzz.
Yeah. I've had that happen once. I used to live in Highbury. There's a stadium there, and you never really knew when the match was going to be on, but sometimes it would just be the streets were full. And I was traveling in drag, like full face of drag, suitcase, carrying a wig, and the match ended. I was like, I'm not getting out of this alive. It was okay. It ended up, spoiler alert, I didn't die. But it wasn't a fun experience. And like the fact that these people are then in a stadium celebrating something a bit queer by singing Mr. Brightside, I don't know, I find that a little bit, I find those two things kind of hard to parse. Obviously, partly my fear is based around my own, gay trauma. And these people haven't done anything to me. And potentially they wouldn't. And they probably wouldn't. But yeah, it is that kind of feeling of not feeling safe. That said, like, I love the idea that straight people have opportunities to experience gender euphoria and like playing with gender and all of that stuff. I think that's so cool. David Bowie's a great example of that.
It's obviously a banger. We know that much.
Yeah.
And that accounts for why it's everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Once again. And I guess what I'm wondering is, but why has it crossed over? Like, why is it in all bar one, Weatherspoons, football stadiums, like very, very straight places where people do want to sing along, have an amazing time, great. But why is it not in other spaces? In fact, fuck it, I'm going to throw my own club night at the Divine. I'm playing wall-to-wall straight wedding bangers.
Right. I mean, that's kind of a funny idea. So you were talking about the gender exploration. I mean, the Killers on that album had that other song, Somebody Told Me, which is fully about some kind of gender play happening.
Boyfriend looked like a girlfriend?
What? Oh! But why is this song so successful? I mean, I think it's because it's very hooky. It's got nostalgia appeal. People remember it from the time. It's a real, like, you can scream it. So, we're being kind of sneery about this song a little bit.
I'm trying to bring it to a place of appreciation.
Yeah. And I got to tell you, when I play at a straight wedding and play this song or play other songs of that ilk, and the joy it brings to people is so wonderful to see. And it touches something in my cold, dead, queer heart watching people. And like, I've been there jumping up and down and singing along to the song. So like, it does have appeal. I guess the thing I dislike about it is that it tends to mean I'm in a space that isn't for me. That's culture, isn't it? We have to find these signifiers that say, this is where you are at this moment in time. This is what's for this person and this is what's for that person. And queerness is all about finding things in antithesis to the mainstream culture. And you can't really get more mainstream than Mr. Brightside. You hear it in a gay bar, something's gone wrong. Although I did hear it in a gay bar in LA recently. So who knows? Who knows what's going on over there?
LA is not a tide mark. That's the kind of one place where something has gone awry.
Yeah, they also played Michael Jackson, so who knows what was going on.
What I am also hearing, though, is that if you personally, Crystal, are in a space and you hear the that's not how it goes, but you hear those first opening notes, it does also likely signify that you're getting paid.
That's true. That's true. If I hear that, I'm either at the wrong event or I'm getting paid. And I've pressed play on that song.
Okay, and once again, I want to think about what is the queer equivalent. Are there songs that take up this anthemic space in queer spaces? I'm very curious about this because I was talking about Neil Diamond's Sweet Caroline the other day, and I think there's a difference in that these straight space anthems, they grow much slower and over a much longer period of time.
Yeah.
But I wonder if, like, the queers and the gays, the theys, the girls, are we always looking for the next thing? Because I feel like we've gone padam, 360, abracadabra.
Yeah. I think that's because we're out all the time. Whereas I think a lot of times when it's like when you're at a wedding or something, these people maybe haven't been out all year. I mean, I'm generalizing, but like I'm talking about like the mums at the wedding. They're like, this is their party night. And unfortunately, as an alcoholic,
my favorite site.
yeah, I'm out far too often. And so, I get a chance to have those euphoric moments all the time. So I'm like, what's the next high? What's the next high? What's the next hit going to be? But you're so right. We rapidly cycle. I can't, what's the equivalent?
Yeah, do we have a timeless shout-along anthem?
I mean, is it a Madonna Vogue? There's not one song that's going to have mass appeal in every gay club that will be a floor filler. Like for a time it was Into You, wasn't it? I think that Ariana's Into You lasted quite a long time.
That did have a long chokehold.
And maybe Robin, maybe Dancing on My Own.
It always comes down to Robin. It always comes down to I'm dancing, but I'm also sad, but I'm dancing.
Yeah. But again, like if I was out and I heard Dancing on My Own, I might go get a drink because I'm sick of it. So you're right. And I think this comes back to what I was saying about like queer culture being in opposition. As soon as something becomes mainstream, we're like, done, next. As soon as something becomes super successful, we're like, well, I need to be at the cutting edge. So what's going to be the next thing? Isn't that tedious? Aren't we tedious?
It's so tedious. Can't I just enjoy a thing for longer than a minute?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, it's overplayed. Okay, what's next?
Let me be gay and just rewatch something. I still listen to. I'm going to say Sky Ferreira. Solange's first EP.
Sure. Well, you're really telling your age.
I really it's like I peaked. I was 26 years old. I felt like I knew what culture was, and I stayed there.
But Sky Ferreira is a good example because she was never overplayed.
No.
So we can keep hanging on to her as like it should have been, which is, one thing gays will do is tell you this should have been a hit.
I was insufferable at a Carly Rae Jepsen concert once, just constant because there were so many other people, like fair weather people. It was at Glastonbury, Clang, and so many other people around me were very much like, what, is she just going to play that one song? I was like, you are going to stand next to me and you're going to listen to my commentary on every single deep cut.
Yeah. Cut to the feeling.
Oh, please. Okay, then, if Mr. Brightside makes it into the museum, how are we displaying it?
Oh, I'm trying to think of something more fun than just an LP on a wall. Let's see.
Ooh, okay, well, let's think about the feeling and the cultural phenomenon that it is. For instance, imagine that arena of people singing it after watching what I presume was a goal in that snippet of a football match. How do we bring some of that feeling into it?
Well, is it like the detritus of a night out at like a 20-something straight club? So you've got like one broken stiletto. It's like, it could be like a kind of diorama.
The floor is sticky.
Yeah, the floor is sticky. There's one piece of confetti.
Those fluorescent plastic shot cups are strewn amongst.
I worked at Freedom Bar for one summer when I first moved to London, and I remember finding a pair of knickers on the floor. So someone had a great time. So we could include those. I
feel like what we want is to kind of create an immersive installation that engenders the energy of that meme of the guy. It's two kids. They're like 19 years old. They're at a bar. It's blurry club photography. And he's clearly like yelling into her ear. And she's just got a facial expression that says,
yeah,
you again.
Yeah. Well, why don't we just do an installation? So it's a small room. You go in. It's playing Mr. Brightside on a loop. It's dark, it's smoky, and there's one man shouting at you about the Killer's back catalog and the composition of the song.
I'm into this slightly Marina Abramovich style. We hire someone to do a durational performance for all opening hours of the museum, which will be civilized. I'm saying 11 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Okay, nice.
Once a month, a late Thursday opening.
Yeah, great, perfect. And we could get Marina to do it.
She loves a brand collab.
Yeah.
So, gift shop merch.
I don't know. What have you got?
Okay, I suppose.
I feel like you're good at this game.
Well, so think about, we're in the gift shop. There's obviously diaries, there's pencils, there's erasers, there's knickknacks, there's often seasonal items, say a Christmas bauble.
Yes.
But again, how we want to give people the chance to take a little bit of this spirit home with them.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it could be a a commemorative fluorescent shot glass.
Yes.
But with the lyrics kind of inscribed on the outside
Sounds
in
like
micro, not that
Sure.
you would need that much space, there's only one verse. But yeah, in like little micro text engraved into the plastic shot glass.
God, that sounds ugly.
Yeah.
But that is what we're here for. It's hard to think of anything you'd want to actually buy that would be Mr. Brightside
I mean, this
branded.
is the innate quality of a souvenir. It's like in the moment, it seems genius. The minute it's in the context of your home, you are questioning every decision you've ever made.
Is there something you could do with a lamp? Like play with the bright side? Like a sad lamp?
You do so often get in a museum gift shop just a stupid little torch.
Yeah.
A torch that is far too small to help you should you find yourself stranded in, I don't know, the woods. So maybe it's a tiny little torch so that you can illuminate
God, imagine you're
the bright side.
in the midst of the apocalypse and someone pulls out a Mr. Brightside torch. But I think it's great. Maybe when you turn it on, it also plays like a MIDI version of the song.
Oh, yes.
Like an
Okay.
old school ringtone.
Okay, that's it. That's the merch. I love it. Well, thank you so much for these nominations. We've, of course, had straight men wearing dresses on a stag do, bad dresses, and we've had Mr. Brightside by the Killers. But due to government spending cuts in the arts and heritage sector, space in the museum is limited, so I can only choose one of these relics. And having considered them both, I think you make a great argument on both sides. But I am going to choose Mr. Brightside by the Killers. My reasoning is that I think we've found space for hope in the stag do bachelor party cross-dressing. I think there's an avenue there to take us into the future, which is the drag makeover, the like allowing these guys to feel snatched and fruity. And then I want Mr. Brightside because of the euphoria. I want to preserve some of that.
That's nice.
Yeah, I
That's
think
nice.
having a space where you can kind of step into the room and say, whoa, this song means something wholly messy to some people. And just being able to like take a little snippet of that feeling home with you.
Straight people, they deserve joy too.
Yes, but of course, they don't have long left. To honor this occasion, to honor this inclusion of Mr. Brightside coming into the Het, I will, of course, be throwing the social event of the year, which is the Het Gala.
Oh, wow.
Which will have the theme of Mr. Brightside. You will, of course, be the guest of honor. What would you be wearing, dressing to the theme of Mr. Brightside by the Killers?
I guess we've got to go for some kind of color changing. We need an illuminating garment. We need a real stunt piece.
Oh, great.
So that it can, at the chorus, it can light up. I guess it's a suit made of LEDs.
And yeah, and you can follow the narrative of the song. I love it. It's simple. It's effective. It's making all of the best dress the next day.
Yeah, I can't believe how much thought you're making me put into Mr. Brightside.
For my outfit, I'm going to reflect the audience of the song. And so I'm going to be a guy in a high street club circa 2012. So I'm going with popped collar polo shirt.
Yeah.
And plastic beer glasses as my handbag.
Perfect.
But then there's a little bit of narrative. And as I turn around, there's just feathers everywhere to bring in the Brandon Flowers of it all.
Perfect.
Okay.
And the only thing you're allowed to say all night is, do you know where I can get some gack?
In fact, that's what the feathers spell out on my back. Yeah. Oh, beautiful. Well, congratulations. Are you pleased with this outcome?
So pleased. What have I done?
Thank you so much for bringing another contribution to the Het Museum. We're very pleased to have it. Please do let the museum visitors know where they can find you.
Thank you so much for having me. It was really a delight. You can find me on Instagram at Crystal Will See You Now, and I have a podcast called Camp Classics where we unearth camp movies, rate and discuss them, and you can find that at Camp Classics Podcast.
Beautiful.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. Well, as the doors close to the Het for another episode, remember to look out for your straight friends and be the best ally that you can. As an act of solidarity, why not invest in a gilet or pop on a Coldplay album in the background of a dinner party? If you've enjoyed this episode of The Het, good news, there's plenty more where this came from, so remember to subscribe on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. Find us on YouTube and follow me, Joe Sutherland, on Instagram. And I also want to know who you want to hear as a future guest to submit some items to the museum. So please do leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform with a suggestion. Do join us again next time. Goodbye.
Bye.